Good morning, everyone, and thanks for joining. And Manav, thanks for giving this platform. So I know it's like first time I'm like coming to these kind of meetings and presenting some of my thoughts, other than the usual meetings that we keep talking for hours together at the office. So without any further ado, I just want to get started. So I want to share some thoughts and like some of the stories of mine, like and the common excuse that we keep hearing or we commonly give. So that's like no time. Once my kids are back from school and when they were like in the lower grades, so and when I keep checking their lunch box, I observed that they didn't complete their lunch. And when I asked the reason, like why they didn't complete the lunch, so the first excuse that they give me is like they didn't have time to finish the lunch. And as a parent, that might not be the actual reason for not completing the lunch. So maybe they didn't like the lunch, or maybe they were busy chatting with their friends. So, and then when I first questioned them, like, why didn't they have time to finish their lunch, then they come up with the actual reason for not completing it. So I think the excuse that we give, like, there is no time, we start when we are like kids or like from the kids itself. And then as they grow to the higher grades, so now the next thing is like they come back from school, and when we ask like how was the day and were they able to complete the assignments, the homeworks that were given, so again the same excuse that I keep hearing is I didn't have time to finish because it like the paper was like tough, or they were like so many questions that they couldn't get time to finish. And here also there might be other reasons where maybe they were not well prepared for the test, or maybe they didn't divide their time properly between the questions so that they could attempt all the questions that were given. And now then it comes to me. So every time like I give an excuse for not going to gym. Like my husband has taken a membership for the family, so we all can go and do workout and then be fit. But then like every day I give up a reason. I don't have time to go to the gym today. But it's not actually the time. Maybe there's some other reason where that's stopping me from going in. And sometimes like when we are invited to a party where you don't know much people there, so the first reason you give is I really want to go there, but I don't think so I have time to be there. And when it comes to trainings, like either it's like work related or maybe to scale up or something new that you want to try. So we just give a reason that there's no time to pick up new training. So when we look at all these excuses, so is it real? Then I just keep thinking, is it really the time that we don't have, or are there any other reasons which is like stopping us from doing it? So then when I like think about these excuses that I like or we mostly give or like hear, so they are like other inline reasons for just making an excuse of time. Because once we make an excuse of time, there is no further questioning about it. Because once you say that you don't have time, there's no further argument about it. But then actually, like when we start analyzing the excuse that we give, so maybe there could be like various reasons that we are making this excuse. Either we are afraid that we would fail because we don't want, because whether a kid or like even as a grown up, sometimes we fear of failure. And then maybe we don't know what to expect, or we don't have a specific goal where we keep giving an excuse of the time because we don't know what exactly we want to achieve. Or sometimes it may be like, you have like multiple things on your plate where we are not able to prioritize, and at the end of the day we just make an excuse of the time saying that we could not finish it because there was no time. And then sometimes like lack of interest, so you want to do something but you're not really interested, and we don't want to accept the fact that we're not interested in to do that. So we just give an excuse saying that there is no time. So it's okay. So as long as when we're giving these excuses, we will not be able to actually identify um, what exactly we want to achieve. So, so now with coming up each of the reasons, so when we talk about the goals, right? So I really want to lose weight, but then I don't want to go hit the gym. I'm more interested, to walk outside. But then we don't want to like accept that or take a chance and say that okay, I don't want to go to gym and just take out some time, go for a walk, and then like create time to do it. Because if you actually your goal is to lose weight, then definitely we would create some time and manage our time to get things done. And then prioritizing the task. So if we can like actually like line up the tasks that need to be done and then like start prioritizing them. So definitely like we would be able to create some time for the things that are really like priority for us or like that means more than other things. So and also like just because you're asked to take a training and if that's not something you're interested in, so it's better to actually identify what exactly the interests are and then go for it rather than just following the group. So like if we the IT industry, we are seeing like a lot of changes in the technologies and just because things are changing and if and you just want to go with the flow and get yourself trained into it, and if you're not interested in that and that's not the career path that you wanted to, definitely like you would be making excuses of the time saying that you know what, I really want to do the training but I don't have time for it. But on the other hand, if we actually identify what exactly we want to do, it could be like a new technology or maybe change of the career path if possible. So if we can identify what exactly is the interest and then work towards it, definitely we would create the time for us and we would be able to achieve the goals or achieve the career path or move on to the career path that we really want to. So basically, all these excuses that we give on time is mostly like a lame excuse. We just don't want to give a try and just get around things. So why it's important to stop making the excuses? Because as long as we are making these excuses, we'll not be able to identify um, or reach our goals, and then we'll not be able to identify the true potential and prevents the growth. So so what, as when you identify a goal and then when you come up with proper planning to achieve the goal, we can definitely achieve it. And the goal shouldn't be like we need to have a specific goal. So it shouldn't be like a very ambitious goal, like where you say that okay, you want to lose a weight or you want to like complete a training. We need to have a short term goals. Like just have a target saying that okay, within this time frame, this is what I want to achieve. So once we have those kind of short-term goals, I think it's easy for us to like walk towards it and then try to accomplish the goals. And the more, the less excuses we make or give about time, I think the more closer we will be able to get to achieving our goals. So, and I feel that I don't have time is the grown-up version of the dog ate my homework. So it's just like a lazy or the lame excuse we all tend to do because we don't want to get around things and we don't want to fail. Just try to achieve something and then you might fear of failure. I think we need to come across all our fears and work towards like understanding and achieving our goals. So this I want to conclude the session.
Perfect. Thank you, Jyoti. So I think this was really good and on time. This is one of the first ones wherein I think we hit it on time. Thank you for that. Now
Thanks.
it's time. Let's give us the feedback. So as
Sure.
we talked about last time, right? So we will continue to practice this sandwich methodology to give the
Sure.
feedback. Let me
Mm-hmm.
start, and then we'll open the floor for everybody to share their thoughts. So,
Sure,
first
ma'am.
and foremost, Jyoti, let's talk
Mm-hmm.
about the positives as well as the solid thing which are a strength which you have. The
Mm-hmm.
biggest strength, I would call it out, is your calm voice. Okay. So that's pretty powerful to have. Not everybody possesses it. I talk very fast. Okay. But to bring a calmness and articulate the thoughts is a powerful tool which you should continue to hone in. Okay.
Sure.
I'm sure there are some wrinkles you will be able to iron out, but
Mm-hmm.
use that to your advantage whenever, wherever possible. That's one biggie.
Sure.
Second, while it was very short, short in the sense 6 slides, which is nice. Okay, as I shared earlier with Sachin last time as well, right? Try
Mm-hmm.
to go away from the presentation for some time so that the
Okay.
body language also we can see. So that way we'll be
Sure.
able to provide a little more feedback when we see
Mm-hmm.
you presenting with respect to your facial expressions as well as the overall body language. Okay.
Sure.
Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Third good thing is in presentations, there is always a concept of something called as being minimalistic. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so wherein we do not have is like we know in our corporate world, we have slides which are full of architectural diagrams, and you have to build out or do some animations to provide an
Mm-hmm.
information. That's bad. If you
Mm-hmm.
cannot tell your overall message in 30
Mm-hmm.
seconds, that means you don't
Mm-hmm.
know or you are just trying to run away from that. So I think your slides
Okay.
were really good, very
Mm-hmm.
minimal text, and the text was big enough. I would say a font size of 14 plus, which is nice to
Mm-hmm.
use, right? And now let's talk about it. Certain things which I think you could additionally add on. You had certain stories which you talked from your personal
Mm-hmm.
life, from your kids
Mm-hmm.
to your husband having the gym membership and so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that maybe next time when you try, right,
Mm-hmm.
relate this whole thing around actually some kind of an incident. For example,
Okay.
hey, let me tell you a story. And
Mm-hmm.
my husband, he one night he came and he said, hey guys, tada, see what I got. I got a
Mm-hmm.
membership for you guys. So make it funny, add some humor to it, and then take
Sure.
somebody to a journey that hey, as if we are sitting in your home and we are
Mm-hmm.
experiencing that kind of a moment, that over a dinner table
Sure.
he is announcing that he got this membership, and tomorrow onwards or weekend onwards we will do this, etc., etc. Right?
Sure.
So that's one. And the
Mm-hmm.
second call out I would say is call to action. That was there, wherein you were making certain suggestions for everybody that hey, yes, the excuses are many for all of us to say that hey, I
Mm-hmm.
don't have time, I cannot do all these things. But there
Mm-hmm.
are ways in which you can overcome those obstacles. So here are the
Mm-hmm.
some tips, some experiential advices which you can do. So from that, my only lesson from my
Mm-hmm.
personal experiences is always keep those calls for action to maximum three, because a human mind cannot transact as well as synthesize more than three requests at a time. So
Okay.
hence just say that, hey guys, let me give you a, overall three actions which you can do,
Mm-hmm.
and again would be able to change your excuses into your actually stepping stones. One, two, and three. That's it. So that way it
Sure.
becomes very powerful and hard hitting. So
Mm-hmm.
overall, amazing, on time, awesome, because doing something in 15 minutes is not an easy task. So kudos to you. Use your voice is what I'll say. That is really powerful.
Yeah, to start with the positive, I second you on the calm voice, which is Jyoti presented. It is two things. So it is getting into your mind. That's a very positive one. And the topic was a very excellent topic, and the points, hard-hitting points were covered. These are the positives. On the scope of improvement, I would recommend to avoid these uh, presentations because we will not be able to see you. The body language is very important in such presentations that will help us to understand what is your mood, what are you trying to present. That's and the next one is if you avoid the presentation, the next comment is not going to be valid. Uh, Maybe rather than text, right? If you can have some images in the presentation, that will give a hard hitting message. I mean, grab the attention because you have the text and you talk about the same. And then if you have
Mm-hmm.
an image, that will give you a hard hitting message. These are my 2 cents to do. Otherwise, it's a great presentation.
So, Manav, this is Amit. Quick question I had actually on the feedback. I've had this feedback earlier that to modulate the voice, as in if you're telling stories, to make it a bit up and down, not to keep it, because it kind of, I know all of us, whenever we get into exec presentations, we are pretty much trying to get to a single pitch and trying to sound confident and so on. But that modulation is one thing, and again, I have not perfected it, but I would like to get your feedback. And Jyoti, I think you kind of did it in a really confident way, as I said. What do you folks think on that?
So again, I don't think we all are perfectionists, but let me share my experience. Amit, good question.
Sure.
See, personally, what I always try is I totally first and foremost agree that in our corporate settings and in such a presentations we always are running against time and we try to just move from point A to point B as fast as we can, right, and get our work done and move on. However,
Yeah.
to your question on the articulation aspect and modulation of our thought process, see, personally, what I try is I actually practice behind the scenes. I am really a bad practitioner when it comes to practicing with the team members, honestly. That's my negative or a weakness. However, what I try to do is in order to achieve the modulation, most of the times I deliberately insert a humor. That humor gives my mind some kind of a leeway that, hey, you know what, take a pause. Now you can talk about certain things. So most of the times I lace it such a way that I make it, let's say I'm bashing my own thoughts that, hey, you know what, yesterday this happened. I just pass on a very subtle one liner joke. I myself laugh and that eases out my tension in the brain that I have to finish my topic. So that gives me some way to move forward and modulate my storytelling with respect to, hey, you know what, yesterday I was going and suddenly I met somebody and then I found that, hey, she is going to just move away from the word and all that stuff. So that storytelling aspect is through a humor is where I have been trying out. Again, am I perfect? I don't think so. But it has yielded right results for me for most part of it. So maybe try humor. Okay, but again, in corporate settings, you can choose that humor very wisely so that it goes with the flow. That will be my only 2 cents. Others, any thoughts?
Thanks, Manav. Actually, that helps because I think then you can earmark the places probably where you want to kind of take a check on things, right? And deliberately know where you want to insert humor.
Correct. And Amit, you might have seen that we had those two coaches who came, right? If you see very subtly in both of their presentations, they actually maybe have they perfected their art of telling a story. We all are learning, but they made it personal to an extent. They were okay to even call it out. Hey, I was about to die, and the other guy was that.
Exactly.
Hey, you know what? So those things they open your mind to a level that now you can narrate anything, man. You don't even have any fear of the stage or anything. So you just say that, hey, I am here, I belong here, I own this stage. So maybe we will reach there, but I like the way they narrate themselves first and carve out their personal stories.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you.